Hello, first grade readers. I'm so excited to finish our book, The Dot, today. You guys did some awesome work yesterday, visualizing and making a picture in your mind as you closed your eyes and thought about what was happening after we read those words together. And you also did a wonderful job thinking about how our character changed from the beginning of our story to the end of our story. And today, we are going to be good readers by reading our story one more time. And we are going to connect and write. So I'm super excited for us to read this story and maybe see it in a different way. Now, I want to remind you that good readers sometimes read a story 2 times or 3 times because they notice things the second time or the third time that they didn't notice the first time. Or they just pay closer attention and there's something that maybe they missed. So when we are reading in our classroom, we're going to make sure that we read books multiple times. We read them over and over again so that we can become fluent readers and so that we can notice things that we didn't notice before. So I'm going to show you what we are going to do first, and you are going to need your smaller, your packet that we worked on yesterday. And the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to connect. And when we connect to our story, we think about something that happened in our story or something that we noticed that maybe has happened to us before. So in this picture, you see our girl, you see our student, and she or he is thinking, and she's thinking about the time that maybe they washed their dog. And they're making a connection to the book because it looks like the character in the book washed either a pig or a cat. I'm not quite sure. But she's making a connection to the story that she read and a time that she also read a book that she read a book that had a connection to a time where she also did that thing. So when we connect, readers think about our experiences and what we know to make connections. So we are going to connect to Vashti and what happened in her story yesterday. So when we make a connection, we think about something that reminds us of something that's happened to us or that we've seen. So in the story yesterday, Vashti was upset because she felt like she couldn't draw. And I wonder if there's ever been a time where you have been upset because you felt like you couldn't do something. And we're going to use this time in just a moment to write about that. So the page that you see here is in your packet, and you are going to draw a picture of Vashti, and you're going to draw her being frustrated that she could not draw. And then you're going to think of a time. You might even need to close your eyes for this one like Ms. Strohmeyer is doing. And you're going to think of a time where you were frustrated that you couldn't do something. So I remember a long time ago when Ms. Strohmeyer was learning to swim, I was really frustrated that I didn't know how to swim. And that would probably be what I wrote about. Now, you are different, so you're not going to write about the same thing that Ms. Strohmeyer writes about, but you're going to think about something that you maybe were upset about because you felt like you couldn't do it. And you're going to draw a picture of yourself, and then you are going to write about that time. So I would tell you about the time that I was trying to swim and I couldn't swim. So you're going to pause your video and you are going to connect on this page. And you are going to connect to Vashti and make this page all about something that you maybe were upset about because you felt like you couldn't do it. So make sure that your picture matches your words and you tell me about a time that you were upset because you felt like you could not do something. I want you to pause your video and I want you to work on this page. And when you're finished, I want you to come back and press play. If you are listening still, that means you finished this page. Awesome job. If you haven't finished this page, pause right now. We are going to be a good reader, and we are going to read The Dot for a second time today. So I am going to show you my screen, and you should be able to see our story now. And I'm going to make me small down there so you can see. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I think I sneezed yesterday while we were reading our book too. But we're going to pay close attention, and Ms. Strohmeyer is going to read a little bit slower today. And we're really just going to listen, and we're going to look at our pictures, and we are going to see if there's something maybe that we didn't notice yesterday. We're going to pay super close attention. The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Make sure you're looking at the pictures as we go too. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear that's in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. "There," she said. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it very carefully. She said. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." And remember yesterday, we know that artists sign their artwork when they're finished with it. So her art teacher is wanting her to sign her artwork. Vashti thought for a moment, "Well, maybe I can't draw, but I do know how to sign my name." So there's Vashti signing her name on her dot. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. "I can make a better dot than that," she said. So she opened her never-before-used set of watercolors, and she set to work. So now she's kind of having a competition with herself. She noticed that dot that was framed by her teacher, and now she's like, "Man, I could do a better dot than that." So now she's kind of having a competition with herself to make it better, and to make it better than it was before. Vashti painted and painted. A red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, and a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow, she discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. "If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too," she said. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. Look at that long paintbrush. That's what I'm noticing right now. I don't think I noticed how big that paintbrush was yesterday. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. I'm going to give you a second to look at this page and look at all of her different dot paintings that she made. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line even with a ruler." So now it's kind of flip-flopped. Vashti used to think that she couldn't draw, but we know that she can now. She has so many dots. And this little boy now is telling her that he can't draw, and Vashti's encouraging him just like her teacher encouraged her. Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper and said, "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Imagine that in your head. Visualize that like we visualized yesterday. If you're drawing a line and your hand is shaking, I want you to imagine that. That's what's happening to the boy right now. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle. Then she said, "Please sign it." So she's doing exactly what she did to her teacher did to her. And there was something that he didn't think that he could do, but she just proved to him that the littlest mark, the littlest thing that he did can be, the littlest thing that he did can be art. It can be a painting. So Vashti is helping this little boy realize his art, the way that he can be an artist too. I love this story because I say all the time, you've probably heard me say before that I can't draw. And now I know that I can. I might not be able to draw like a artist that's in an art museum, but I can draw a dot and I can draw a squiggle and I can draw a line, and I know that you guys can too. So we are all artists in this classroom. But what we read today, we're going to be a good reader, and we are now going to write about what we read. And we are going to write about our opinion. And I know a lot of us like to tell our opinion. We like to tell our favorite food. We like to tell our favorite animal or what TV show we think is the best. So when we write an opinion, we tell how we feel, what we think. Miss Strohmeyer might not think that your food that you love is the best food ever because Miss Strohmeyer might not like it. So you are going to write an opinion today, and you are going to tell me what you think is your favorite part of the story, or what you think is the best part of our story, The Dot. When we write our opinion, when we write, we also tell why we feel this way. So when we tell the best part of our story, we're going to make sure that we tell why we think that it is the best part of the story. And before you go, this is the last thing you're going to do. You can pause it on this screen to make sure that you remember what you're doing. But you are going to write about your favorite part of the story, or the part that you think is the best, and you're going to tell why you liked that part of the story. So there's not going to be any other directions after you finish this page. But I'm going to leave this page up for you to pause the video so that you know what you're working on, and you're going to write about your favorite part of the story, but you're going to make sure that you draw your favorite part of the story in our big box up there. And the awesome thing is that our book, The Dot, is on Epic. So if you aren't quite sure and you want to take another look at the pages, or you want to look at the illustrations to help you draw your picture, you can get on Epic and you can pull up The Dot and you can read it again yourself. So make sure that you draw an awesome picture and make sure that you write words, but don't just say what your favorite part was. You need to tell me why it was your favorite part. So you're going to do two things. You're going to tell me your favorite part, and you're going to tell me why that is your favorite part or the best part of our story today. You guys are wonderful readers. I'm so proud of you, and you guys have done an awesome job with this book, and I hope you really enjoyed reading this book as much as I did. So readers, I want you to turn into writers, and I want you to start writing, and then I will see you guys in a little while for math. Awesome job, friends. Thanks for working so hard.